All right, guys, we're getting the new Bass Cat ready here. I got both of my Lowrance units at the console mounted onto that Bass Boat Technologies dual mount. Makes it super flush, super clean. We're working on getting it up front, but we got everything hooked up now. And what I'm gonna do is just take you through kind of a setup, a bunch of the basics that get everything kind of dialed in as I get started here. Bear with me a little bit. Been since last year, so it's might have to go back and forth a little bit. But the first thing I do is I turn that key beeps off. I did that already. Go to system, key beeps. That just makes it so when you touch everything, it's not going beep, beep, beep all the time. It drives me crazy. But that's the first thing I'm looking at. When I have my setup here, right side is going to be my mapping in 2D, and then over here I'm going to have my side scan and down scans. So let me show you how to do this. You're going to hit your pages button up here. You can see it actually already has one laid out here. You click on it, and you can see where you go side by side. That's not how I'm going to run it. I prefer to adjust it. It makes my map bigger, shows me further back in time of the 2D sonar, so if I idle over something and I miss it. So you saw how I did that. It was set originally to be side by side, like that. I hit this button here, just like that. You'll have up and down, so you're gonna hit save, and now you can see we got them stacked on top of each other. So the next thing you're gonna do is hit the pages button, and you're gonna go to adjust splits. And what that's gonna do is it'll let you adjust how wide all these are. So you can see there where you got it half and half. What I like to do is take my 2D and I'll make it much smaller. You can adjust that to where you see fit for you. Then you'll hit save. And what that does is it gives me a big map right here. Kind of zooms in, lets you see how everything's set up. And then as I'm idling, you'll see the bottom. So you'll see other videos in the past that go over all that. Some other things you need to consider here on this page before you jump over to your other unit is your data overlay. So to adjust that, right now it only has your speed, depth, and water temp, which are all good things, but you're gonna hit the button there. It's gonna take you to data overlay. So if you wanted to turn it completely off, you would hit that one. See how it takes them away up there? So I want that on, and I'm gonna hit edit overlay. So the first thing I wanna do is move these into a better position that they're not on top of my screen. So those ones are good there. If you like those being that size, good. If not, you can come back out here, hit the plus sign. Oops. Click on that one again, hit the plus sign. You make that as big as you want. So if you're running down the lake and you want to see that real big 7, so you know how deep you are, you can adjust it from there. I usually keep it small. The only one I'm gonna make bigger is when I add my time. So to add time, you're gonna hit add. We're gonna go to, find it in here, time. And then you got some options. You can do date, time, local time, end date. I just do time. You get that one there. You can see it puts it in as a smaller version. So that's gonna be one of those we blow up. Data sources, this one you can check just to make sure everything's set up, make sure your 0.1's on, that sort of stuff. We'll go over that in more detail later, but you can see we got 12:35, and that's one I'm gonna make big. I like to know what time it is. That's the most important thing to make sure I get in on time for a tournament. Right here, daylight savings time's actually off, so it's really currently 11:35. So I'm gonna show you how to adjust that as well. Hit save. Oh, gotta go back to edit overlay. I'm gonna add, just make sure there's nothing else I wanna add. So you can see we got the turning rate if you wanna turn any of that on, sonar, we got water temp, depth, let's see what else we got, trip. You can do that so you can actually log how long you're running for. Other, that one probably has voltage. So supply voltage is another one I like to add. So you can see right there, I got 11.9 volts. These batteries have not been charged yet, so that actually will go up a little bit, that number there. So we're gonna keep that one there, X that out, and you gotta make sure you hit save, otherwise it's not gonna keep all that for you. So I'm gonna put that one up there, kind of tuck it away a little bit. I'm actually gonna adjust those a little bit, hang on. Water temp, speed, time. That's how I prefer to see that. So that's just my personal belief or personal opinion, how I like to set it up. This makes easy to see. So I'm gonna hit save. So then I got my unit set up here. You can click on the 2D sonar. You can go to more options. This one I like to turn to color palette 13. Right there, it just turns it to a different darker brown. I think it shows the fish better. Once I get on the water, that's when I would go and actually adjust my sensitivity. I'll start it on auto, bump it up and down from there, but it just depends a lot on the body of water you're on, what you're seeing, what the water looks like. Here you can see different transducer options. I have mine in channel 1 for my 2D. It's actually a through hole, which I like because then it lets me read when I'm running. It won't read when I'm at full speed, but it'll read up to usually, if I remember correct, I want to say like 40, 50 miles per hour, pretty good, as long as it's not bouncing around a lot. If it's rough, then you're going to lose it. But that's how I get this original screen set up. There'll be some stuff I do with the map, depending on if I'm running Navionics, CMAP. There's other videos I have out of how to look at that, pick which one you want to use, but we're going to save that for another day. Here, you can see this is the original screen when I get the unit. You can see where I live there in Pennsylvania in the southeast part of the state. So again, we're going to start over. I'm going to hit the pages button, and then I'm going to have to set this up to what I want it to be. So I'm going to actually hold that button. You can hit that. It's going to let you edit it. So I'm going to get rid of that guy, rid of that guy. I want down scan and side scan. And again, it's going to put them side by side. So this is where you got to adjust it there. Same as I had my 2D. You can see I want my 2D on the bottom. So 2D and down scan are very similar, what you're reading. So I like to keep them both on the bottom. I'm going to make that same adjustment to that the split screens very close to each other, if not exactly the same. So we get here. We're going to hit save. And then we can do some minor adjustments as well. This guy, you can see it's got same thing, starts with speed, water temp, and that guy with the depth. Go edit overlay. I'm gonna get them all on the side again. I typically actually don't run as much, or I'll even turn these ones off when I'm side scanning, because it's a little bit more clutter to have on there. 100 feet, it's a good starting range. You can make it deeper. Depends on depth, really, is what it comes down to when you're out there idling. But you can come through and look at some other videos I have, or if you want to get out on the water, I do trips up on Beltsville and can really dial you in. But 8 or I think it's 9 or 11, I can't remember actually. They're both one of the blue ones. They're the ones I usually run mine on. Again, that's going to just depend on the day, the water body, but those are the two I like to use. It just depends on how well you can see. Some people actually see different, I think, than others too. So I always show people that when I'm having them out on the water, how to adjust it, what can, oops, that was stop sonar. That wasn't a button I meant to hit, but, and then you can adjust from there. Fish reveal options. Some people like this, some don't. Where did that go? More options. So you can turn that on and off right there, but that's just all personal preference and not as much about the current setup of these things, but that's how I like to do this. Last thing was adjust the splits. Bring it down to probably right about there. Let's see. Does that look even? It's pretty close if it's not. But again, when I'm looking more for stuff on my side imaging, that's when I'll make this even bigger, or you can just hit the pages button, go to straight side scan sometimes. It just depends on if you're practicing, looking for fish, if you're looking for a structure. You can make all these little key adjustments, but this is how I usually get these 2 units started. The last thing I'll do is go into the settings. Hang on one second. Let's see. Go settings, and we're going to check out the network. So we're going to network, data sources, GPS. The GPS, I want to make sure it's on my 0.1. I usually turn it to 0.1, not auto 0.1, which you can see it's the same thing, but that just keeps it from flipping around and switching around on you. It's on. We're going to turn that to local, so that's going to make it read a little more accurately right off the back of my transducer, or back of my boat. So we got that one set. Then we're going to go to sonar, water temp. this guy we got on channel 1, which is actually reading off my right transducer. So this is reading off, I'm gonna switch this. I'm gonna switch this to this guy here. This is, I have my 3-in-1 hooked up to it. So this one, for a little more detail, this has just my 2D through hole. This has my 3-in-1 transducer. It was a side scan, down scan, and the traditional 2D, but that won't read as well when I'm running. So that's where I want to change that. Same thing, change this to local. Go back, and that'll just give me a more accurate water temperature, just because that's directly in the water versus this guy over here, which I actually probably should change that to, or I will change that to this guy, that channel 2 on my left unit. So we got that. Trip time, that shouldn't need to do anything there. We got time. Oh, we didn't change that, the date. We got that off the 0.1, so that's good. Engine, we don't do that. So yeah, this one looks pretty good setup wise. Take you over here, I'll set this one up, and then I do want to show you how to switch that time real fast. So we're gonna hit pages. Did that work? Oh, we got a little delay there. I'm not sure what's going on here, but give it a second. Oh, I thought I was trying to hit a waypoint. I must have bumped it when I was messing with it. So same thing, we're gonna go system, network, data sources, GPS. With that one we got on 0.1. Make sure that's local. Then we go to sonar, water temp. Actually it switched over to channel 2, so that's good. That's where I wanted that one. Then we're gonna go to depth. We already changed that one to local before, so that's good. We need to get to. No, actually, we got all them set up, so we're good there. To change the time, go back to hit your pages button up on the top right. You're gonna hit settings, systems, then go to time, and this is where you can adjust it. So it doesn't actually say daylight savings time or anything like that, but it says 12:43. It's currently 11:43 where I'm at, so you're gonna just bump this. I believe it's 4 times. Yeah, there you go. So 4 times, that'll do an hour, so it's 15-minute increments, and that'll just depend on where you're at in the country or world. So you get that, then you hit that save button right there, or you can even put it in 12 or 24 if you actually want to do that too. So you can just a couple of your formats, but then just make sure you hit save, back out, and there you go. So we got back to 11:44 on the current time, and we got these units dialed in as much as I'm going to, sitting here in my garage. The next steps are gonna be going out on the water, and that's where I'm gonna adjust my sensitivity, color line, get that all dialed in on both sides for the side scan, down scan, and 2D. So thanks for watching. Do you have any other questions? Put them in the comments below. I have a bunch of other videos out that'll probably answer a lot of your questions on Lowrance units, but keep it going, and have a great day. We'll see you.